Hi, Internet friends. It's Tim Schrock from Design Build Solutions, digging into linked callouts and views in our layouts. This is going to be a big one, so let's get started. I have tried these linked callouts before, and I'm really trying to see if this will help the process, and I believe it can. It's just going to change how I do things for my process. In the past, I've used this macro that I've had for a number of years that automatically increments each time I copy this. So I select this marker and the text, and if I copy it and paste it, it automatically increments one more number, and that happens to work on every page. So it increments starting from 1 again on the next page, if you will. So I'm going to delete those, and I like this because one is I like to have control of the length of this line. I like to have the length of it be kind of to the drawing. So there's this drawing here. I'd want that marker to kind of line up like so and draw out to this edge. I also like the you know, when I go to plan view, I like to align up the floor plans if I have, you know, first floor and second floor, or foundation and first floor type of thing. And then I like to line up the markers as well. So it's a nice, neat thing. So playing with linked views, it does not work to use this callout numbers macro, not that one, this one here, because when I go back here and try to, well, when I put callout numbers in this label here, let's insert callout numbers. First of all, what I'm doing here is I've set up the layout box. Let me back up a minute to go forward, right? Open this layout box by hitting Control E or using the open dialog in your edit toolbar. And I go to Label, and I've selected Use Callout. And now I edit that callout. The label I put in callout numbers, and then the layout label is A2. I like to have the number and the page on my callouts for the drawing. I know it's already on A2. We already know it's page 2. That's okay. And I like to just have numbers. I don't call D1 or E1 for elevation 1 or anything like that. I just label them numerically. So callout numbers, using that macro doesn't work. Even if it did work, if I come back here to my plan and I put a callout as such, and I link it, say I link this to a I can't do the plan view. That's what it is. So let's do this one. Let's say I did a call out here. Oh, this one here. Let's do this. So I've got to set this up, label, edit, and insert user-defined callout numbers. As you can see, I've got 14 and 19 and number 1, and that just isn't gonna work that way. But let's say it did work. Let's put this here as a call out, and I'm going to insert object specific linked callout label and object specific linked callout page, linked view layout page label. There we go. And then I have to link it to a cross section right there. And well, this brings up a whole nother point. To link it to this cross section, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to, I've already got it set up here. Call out numbers. There we go. Number 23. If I zoom in, it's 28, 16, 20, 40, 48. See, that's not working. But let's say it did work. From here, I'm going to go to there, and I'm going to put a cross section, and I know what that is. I'm going to add object specific linked view callout label, and below the line, I'm going to go to linked view layout page label, and I'm going to link this to my CAD details, and this is the wall legend. You'll notice that it's put the callout number, the name of the macro, instead of the value of the macro. So it really isn't going to work that way. So the macro for me is out at this point. I'm trying to get this to work here then. So let's edit this and go back to label and just hit number 2. So manually, I can do it this way. The tough part for me is that I've got to go through so many screens to get there. So when I click on the layout, I open it, I go to label, edit, and then I can put the number in there. Click OK, click OK. Okay, so I can put 10,000 of these on there. I just have to manually sort them. Okay. I have set up my text defaults, and I'm not going to see it here. I have set up my text defaults so that I have 3/16 inch text in the callout and as the title, and 1/8 inch shown here as the foot. You'll also notice, as a side note, I was able to figure out how to make this, instead of using the textual IN and FT, I want the more of the tick marks there. That's a side note, a special macro that I wrote. So by default, this label, that's the label, and then you go to attributes to change the title. By default, it comes in as automatic label here. As built view for my plan, okay, I could have over here, I could have my saved plan view change to, I could change those and use some existing demo plan, but then it doesn't have what floor it's on. Okay, so I could come back in here, label, use callout, edit, attributes, and type floor, and insert object specific, where was it? Object specific reference flyer, referenced view floor number. floor 1. So let's do that. I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to do a new one and save this one as existing demo plan. Okay, so now I come over here and change this to relink it to the existing demo plan. Floor 1. Perfect. Okay, now that could be automated, and then I could come back, and when I have my floor plan, floor 1, floor 1 plan. Typically, I do first floor plan. I'd have to figure out first, second, third. I'd have to do a macro fourth, fourth, fifth, sixth. If floor equals 1, then I'd have to type it out first. I could do that probably. What gets me is if I were to do let's add a floor plan here. And if I were to do a framing floor plan, and let's do that. And I were to send this, delete those. Framing floor plan, let's say so now I've got to give it a number. Use callout number 1 on S1 and attributes, and then let's go floor. If I put the floor in there, this is really the first story floor framing plan. It's not the floor 0 framing floor plan. So that doesn't quite work. Not quite automated in that regard. The other thing is, let's say I noticed I didn't want to show living area on this, so I'm going to shrink this box like I typically would to hide it. Well, the label goes with it. I can adjust that label, and that's okay, and I can make the label the right length, and that works. The one positive thing about this is if I want to move this over to, let's go back to this. And set up this here. I'm going to do a link, object specific, label, object specific, page number. I'm going to link this back to the wall legend again. Oh, I got to fix the wall legend thing here. For wall legends, I don't make it. I don't typically give this a label, but let's for sake of imagination say that it is just a CAD. This is demonstrating just a CAD detail, right? That I sent. So come back here. Okay, so that's good. I can give this a cross-section line, and I can give it an arrow. section. Oh, there we go. Section arrow. Do that one. There we go. And actually, I don't want this to be page number. I want it to be page label. There we go. 2 on S1. Okay, so 2 on S1. This is great that it is linked. And I only have to change it in one place. So let's, I'm going to cut this off of S1 and put it over here. And I'm going to fit it over here. And it goes S2, 2 on S2. Well, it's not really 2, but that's okay. I can adjust that and make that 3. Come back to here, and it automatically updates. So 3 on A2, 3 on A2. That's nice that it links. And then if I were to change page numbers here for this, let's say for some reason I needed to add a page before this. And so I go back to here, and this, I do my a pound sign again. I inserted another one and draw this. So this is now 3A3, come back to here. That's 3A3. And once again, this is S1 on A3 here. That's what this camera is. I took quite a bit of time to figure out the cameras as well. This is the automatic label of the camera, cross-section camera. You can change this automatic label by selecting the camera here and changing the name right up here, or going into your project browser and going into cross sections, and I can click once, highlight and click once, or I can right click and rename this. So let's say this is the typical foundation section. Automatically updates there. Okay. So once again, if I were to delete this and come over here, that's 2 on S1 now. I come back here, this is S1. It still says S1 on S1. I got to figure that out, right? But now that I've deleted this, the poor thing about the not being able to use the macros is if I delete number 2, then I've got to adjust numbers 3, 4, and 5. I guess not a big deal, right? So let's go to label, edit number 2, go back to that. But once again, this is updates automatically. Okay. To adjust this S1 situation, Chief automatically gives it S1. I have to come back here and go to Plan Display and change this to S1. Now, could I manually type in the number 2 here? Yes, I could. And that would, right, that would be legitimate there. I could also go to Plan View, highlight this on number 2, and let's insert an object specific. See, this one doesn't work as object specific. You don't have the linked situation. I can't put in the macro of the linked plan view label there. So I'm going to cancel this. Let's see what happens if I select. Now, this is just a call out that's linked to that section right here, and the call out gets its number from the number that I put in the layer. So this label here, even though I said 2 on the layer, this is the frustrating part. Plan display. If I were to do by default, it's just S1, right? Because if I did another section over here, yeah, see, that's S2. Let's do that again. S2 is that one. Let's send this one to and let's copy this one over here. And let's link this one to the second one. Okay. Now, even if I label this one number 3, this does not change until I change the camera label. And I cannot change the camera label to be a macro, I don't believe. Nope, it doesn't work that way. So the cameras, I would have to manually change the cameras. Now, then it begged me the question, why am I using a callout instead of just the cameras? There are times that I save cameras that I don't send to layout and I don't want them shown, so I don't turn that layer on. The advantage of the linked callouts is that if I don't have this layer on, because it's linked, I can just double click on it as if it were the camera and go right to this section. I did wonder if there was a way you can do a line, but you cannot put an arrow on the line. So there's the camera view, and I can shrink that line down and I can move that around. But I like this because in this case maybe it works, right? Well, not really. It might. Because if I'm doing a whole section of the whole thing, this is what I would do. I would draw a line and then an arrow. I would make my own arrow. Maybe I could continue doing that and leave, but once again, I don't like to have the camera layers on because, like I said, maybe I don't, maybe I have cameras saved that I don't want to show. So back to this situation, I'd have to just come back in here. I can go into my camera views and I can edit the view, go to plan display. That one's good. It's just this one. Edit the view, plan display, and that's on 2. Now, if this is S1, let's do this. Let's try to make it difficult. Let's say it's S1 as default. What is this? What should this be? So really, in some views, the layout drives the number, and in some views, the plan drives the number. confusing there. Okay, so let's insert object specific. This would be the callout label. So yes, so if I go into here and do 2, there are my 1, 2, and 3. That works. For the floor plan, for the name of the floor plan, I might just have to go into label, edit, attributes, and call this floor. And you'll notice it doesn't matter whether I do capital or not. My text style automatically does the capitals here. So floor framing plan first story. Maybe that's how I have to do it. I am going to remove this off of, I don't want it on the left-hand corner there because so this is where I set up the text. So the main text style, I'm using the layer. And then the attributes, I'm on the lower text below the line, I'm using marker text style 1/8. And here we go. I'm going to center, nope, that's not it, toward the call out. And the call out, I want to be, this is where it's getting confusing. Use the call out attributes. Oh my goodness. There's a place, what I'm looking for is there's a orientation of this call out with the layout box. And I am fried if I can't find where that, it's got to be under the label. Orientation. Oh, there we go. Reference. Right there, under label reference. There we go. So bottom center, I'm going to do that so that, well, that's not going to work either. Oh, goodness gracious me. Let's do this. Layer attributes. We want 0 arrows. That's fine. Bottom center. Let's do a Y offset. There we go. We do a Y offset. Now I can see that. Pull it off. Center. There is an advantage to this, is that when you select it, you're selecting the whole thing, and you don't have to select 3 objects or 4 objects, the layout box and the callout and the title. So that's good. And there's the advantage that things are linking back and forth. So if you change something on the layout, then you just have to know where to go for it. So maybe it's time to retire my macro version of layouts or layout callouts. I'm going to suppress this label. That's fine. Wow. This is a long video. I'm going to see if I can't shorten it up maybe for upcoming Tech Tip Tuesdays and just kind of give you tidbits of information. I will do a bonus video here this week for this macro and setting up templates, my layout template, so that this works. All right. Thanks so much for sticking around with me on this one. I know it's kind of, as I said, I'm just really digging into it and getting it working. So if you like this information, click like and subscribe down there. Leave me a comment. I enjoy the interaction with you. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Take care.